Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're embarking on, well, a really extraordinary journey.
Uh-huh.
It pulls us right into the heart of an unfinished love story, a genuine modern-day mystery, and the complex inner world of human obsession.
Yeah.
We've got some fascinating sources here. This poignant anonymous diary found amidst, well, real tragedy,
Mm,
and also the frantic, very personal notes of the man who found it, detailing his own pretty complicated life.
right.
So our mission today is to sift through all this material, unearth the raw emotions, the surprising turns, in human behavior,
Definitely.
and the big questions that pop up when a stranger's deepest secrets become your own kind of consuming quest. Okay, let's unpack this.
What's truly fascinating here, right from the start, is how powerfully these incomplete stories can grip us. Think about it. A story without an ending. It often compels us way more strongly than one that's all tied up.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The gaps, the questions,
Yeah.
they actively pull you in, force you to imagine, to speculate.
Mm.
And in our narrator's case, it sparks this almost desperate search for, well, some kind of closure.
Yeah.
It's not just curiosity, It feels like a deep human need to make sense of the unknown, especially when you're dealing with lost love and tragedy like this.
Absolutely. And that magnetic pull, it really starts with the diary itself.
Okay.
Our anonymous writer, let's call him RD.
Okay.
He just pours his heart out in this entry from September 16, 2010. It just radiates pure infatuation.
Totally.
He writes, "You're in love when she's around, and when her voice alone is your guiding light, your only motivation in your life, I am in love."
Wow.
And he says he'll never forget that day. Honestly, reading it, you can practically feel his heart pounding.
You really can. It's so vivid.
He paints this picture, right? Waiting at a bus stop, feeling totally down, then suddenly she appears, looking amazing.
Hmm.
The bus is packed, it's chaotic, people pushing. He gestures for her to go first, trying to be, chivalrous.
A small gesture, but huge for him.
Exactly. She gets jostled, can't quite get on, and then he hears it, her whispered, "Sorry." Her first words to him.
And that's the moment.
Yeah, he describes it like a daydream sequence, but it was actually happening. His first feeble hi, it just shows how nervous he was.
Completely smitten.
Instantly.
Yeah.
And there's even this small lie says he lives near her.
Oh, wait.
Just a little thing, but it speaks volumes about how desperate he was to, keep that connection going, even for a minute.
It's so classic, isn't it? That raw, all-consuming feeling of first love, almost archetypal.
Yep.
Are these feelings? They resonate because we've all felt something like that intensity where every tiny thing feels massive.
Right? Every word, every look.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And his vulnerability comes through, too, even under all that passion. Like on October 1st, he writes, "I am scared that you would see through me. I am scared that eventually I am not a perfect human being, and unlike her, I have flaws."
That's heavy.
It really is. It's not just general insecurity. It's this deep fear that if Regina really saw him, the whole thing would just crumble.
Like his flaws would disqualify him somehow.
Precisely. Like he believes he needs to be perfect, or at least appear perfect, to deserve her love. It's quite sad, actually.
And that specific fear about being seen as imperfect, it gets even more heartbreaking when you hit this entry from just a week earlier, September 23rd.
Okay, what happens there?
He mentions Regini being fascinated by elitist boarding schools, like Dune or Mayo's.
Right.
And you can almost feel him tense up, reluctant to share his own experience.
Wow.
So instead of telling her the truth, he tells her about his supposed best friend, Papu, this all-rounder of the batch from Imperial Academy, Dehradun.
Creating a persona.
Totally. An idealized image. Because his actual experience at one of those schools, it was incredibly dark.
Oh, no.
He reveals very clearly that he was sexually abused by older kids when he was just 12.
God, that's horrific.
Yeah. And this trauma led to this desperate act. He drove a compass through one of the abuser's hands,
Wow.
which got them expelled. And he says he found newfound confidence, even respect after that. A really twisted kind of empowerment.
Unbelievable.
But he chose consciously to hide all of that, this huge identity-shaping trauma from Regini. He gave her this sanitized, almost fake version of himself instead.
And that's where the story just deepens incredibly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What's truly remarkable is how that unaddressed trauma isn't just buried history. It's actively, subtly shaping his present choices.
How so?
Well, his decision to create that idealized image wasn't just about hiding something dark from Regini. It was like a preemptive defense mechanism.
Okay.
It almost guaranteed that the real intimacy he craved couldn't fully happen because it was built on well, a lie of omission.
Right, a shaky foundation.
Exactly. It shows how secrets, even if you think they're protecting someone or something, can actually sabotage the very connection you want. He's building this persona, hoping it'll be loved, but doing that puts up a huge wall against genuine acceptance.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder, what part of himself did he truly believe was unlovable?
Okay, so let's jump forward to the present day, to the guy who found this diary.
Right, the narrator.
He finds it after this devastating blast, amidst just unimaginable tragedy. He's convinced RD is dead.
Yeah.
He even notes, with this grim detail, that RD's hands were blown off from this diary.
Oh, wow. That's graphic.
And the first and last pages are burnt, totally unrecognizable. So this passionate story is just left hanging.
Incomplete.
Frustratingly incomplete.
And for our narrator, this isn't just some sad discovery. It becomes an obsession, an absolute fixation. He describes his feelings as very disturbing, yet enamoring. He says, all I know is I have to find Regini.
It takes over.
Completely. He sees it as a dead man's words, calls it the perfect manuscript. Not because the writing is amazing, he admits it's nothing phenomenal,
All right.
but because of the circumstances, the tragedy surrounding it. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it really highlights that deep human drive for closure, doesn't it?
Totally.
Especially for someone like him who says he writes for a living, he wants an ending.
Yeah, it's almost professional instinct bleeding into personal life.
Exactly. This external mystery becomes this internal urgent need. He's projecting his desire for narrative resolution onto a real person's tragedy.
That's an interesting way to put it.
It's a fascinating psychological thing where the storyteller gets tangled up in the story. His quest isn't just about finding Regini, it's maybe about trying to control this chaotic, unfinished narrative. Perhaps because his own life feels, well, a bit chaotic too.
And his efforts to find her are, wow, relentless, borderline obsessive.
Like what?
He's scouring the internet, Google, Facebook, even old sites like Orkut and MySpace.
Going way back.
He called Imperial Academy, trying to track down Papu. He's even digging into the Chani Chowk blast details, 127 dead, 57 injured. Contacting hospitals, but just hitting walls. Incomplete records, patients transferred. It's this bureaucratic nightmare stopping him finding answers.
That sounds incredibly frustrating.
But it brings up a really crucial point, right? His drive for closure is understandable, maybe even relatable. But this quest for Regini, for someone else's story, it definitely walks a fine ethical line, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And this is where it gets really complex.
Yeah.
On one hand, you've got this incredibly compelling, unfinished story.
Yeah.
It almost begs to be finished. You can empathize with him wanting to give voice to those dead man's words, fulfill this romance cut short.
Sure.
But on the other hand, you have to ask, when does digging into a stranger's private diary, especially one this intimate, become an intrusion?
A violation, almost.
Yeah. Should you dig so deep into a dead person's thoughts and an unknown woman's past, given how raw these entries are? His quest might be fueled by empathy and curiosity, sure, but it could also seriously violate Regini's privacy. She has no idea this guy is hunting for her.
It's that tension, right, between the public wanting a story and the individual's right to privacy, even after death.
Exactly. That's a key tension here.
Though, could you argue that finding it, like he did, amidst tragedy, actually gives him a kind of responsibility?
What do you mean?
Like an untold story with such powerful emotions almost demands a conclusion. Maybe he sees himself as like a literary detective trying to bring meaning to something that would otherwise be lost.
That's a possible interpretation.
Yay.
Framing it as a duty rather than just curiosity. It's definitely not black and white.
But while he's diving deep into this external mystery, what's happening in his own life?
Right.
What does his world, with its real messy relationships, tell us about the kind of love he's looking for in RD's diary?
Good question.
We meet Avantika, his girlfriend, and his friend Shrey, and they paint a really stark, almost opposite picture to the diary's romantic ideal.
Okay.
The narrator's thoughts about Avantika, often pretty possessive and, yeah, lustful. He fixates on her looks, compares her to others, and when she plans a trip to Mumbai, he panics. Thinks 2 weeks without sex, I mean love.
Oof. That slip. Sex, I mean love.
Yeah. Incredibly telling.
That's crucial, isn't it? That immediate jump from sex to love, it's not just about lust. It feels like a Freudian slip, revealing he kind of mixes up physical intimacy with real affection.
Suggests it's maybe more transactional for him.
Potentially, yeah. Less emotionally deep, perhaps.
Yeah.
And Avantika seems to pick up on this.
How so?
Well, when he calls her, she asks dryly, "Is that the only thing I call you for?"
Ouch.
And when he insists he loves her, she just replies sarcastically, "Of course you did." She senses the gap, right, between his words and maybe his deeper motivations.
Yeah, she's not buying it completely.
He might say he loves her, but his internal thoughts, the ones in his notes, are often about possession, physical desire.
And then there's Shrey, his friend, who seems to represent this really problematic side of masculinity.
Okay, tell me about Shrey.
We find out Shrey's involved with a 17-year-old Taya. It leads to this crazy car accident.
Oh, boy.
And our narrator gets pulled in. He has to pretend to be Tia's Baya, her brother, to the police, covering for Shrey's really questionable actions.
So he's complicit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not a one-off. The notes mention in earlier times Shrey paid for an abortion for someone, hidden as indirect expenses through company money.
Wow. Listen, the narrator's caught up in Shrey's messy, morally gray world.
Yeah, his relationships are definitely a stark, almost brutal contrast to the diary's pure, innocent romance.
Totally.
His struggle to separate love and lust is right there, and Avantika clearly sees their relationship differently than he does.
For sure.
But what's really illuminating and quite heartbreaking is Avantika's reaction to Shrey and Tia.
Right, she freaks out.
Exactly. We find out Avantika has her own screwed up past, drugs, alcohol, many flings, which she blames herself for.
Huh, okay.
So her intense reaction, she freaks out. When Shrey dates someone so young, it suddenly makes so much sense.
It's personal for her, deeply personal. It forces you to think, how does past trauma shape not just your own actions, but how you react protectively towards others? She's not just angry at Shrey. She sees Tia's vulnerability, maybe remembers her own past experiences, sees a pattern of exploitation she knows too well.
So her anger is protective.
Fiercely protective. Her past isn't just history. It's the lens she sees the present through.
Yeah.
It shapes her moral compass right now.
So it becomes really clear the narrator is caught in this constant push and pull between his messy real life and the diary's captivating, idealized mystery.
Yeah, a real tug of war.
He actually says, Avantika is the only thing that has kept me and can keep me from thinking about it, meaning the diary. I will go crazy thinking about that mysterious girl, the dead guy, and the burnt diary if Avantika goes away to Mumbai.
So Avantika is his anchor, or maybe his distraction?
Could be both. But paradoxically, he also clings to this really pure idea about love. He believes such love needs to be confessed and not hidden. It has never done anyone any good.
Interesting, given his own situation.
Right. He even projects it onto his relationship with Avantika, declaring, even if Avantika left me, I would tell her every day how much I love her, till my last breath. I'm so in love with her.
That's quite a declaration.
Yeah.
Especially after the sex, love slip.
Exactly. It's this intense, contradictory mix of feelings. He champions this ideal love he doesn't seem to fully live out while using this tragic external story as an emotional lifeline.
Which immediately makes you think about that psychological mix of escapism and obsession.
Yeah.
Is his quest for Jeannie genuinely altruistic? Or is it maybe partly a way to avoid dealing with the complexities in his own life?
The messiness with Avantika, with Shrey.
Precisely. Remember, he's a writer. He craves an ending. Is he projecting that professional need onto this tragedy?
To find order in the chaos?
Maybe. His obsession isn't just about finding Regini. It could be about asserting control over a narrative, any narrative, because his own feels so unresolved. He idealizes RD's story, perhaps because it feels simpler, purer than his own complicated feelings for Avantika.
So what drives someone to get so deeply tangled in a stranger's life, even neglecting their own reality?
It's complex, right? Empathy, definitely. Curiosity, for sure. But maybe also a subconscious yearning for a different kind of love than what he has or thinks he's capable of. The mind often uses stories to make sense of chaos. And sometimes a compelling external mystery feels safer to obsess over than an internal one.
Like emotional displacement.
Exactly. Emotional displacement. Projecting his own needs, his own yearning for an ideal onto someone else's unfinished story.
That's a powerful way to frame it. It really highlights how these unresolved emotions, whether from a diary or our own past, can just pull us in so strongly. The conflicting feelings, the longing for a perfect story, the messy reality. It all blends into this compelling but, often troubling search for meaning.
It's a story about the stories we tell ourselves.
And maybe the stories we need to tell, even if they're not ours. Hashtag outro. So what does this all mean for you listening in? We've gone deep into Artie's diary, those raw entries, his hidden trauma, that idealized, unconfessed love for Regini.
Yeah.
Then we explored the narrator's tireless, almost obsessive investigation. We saw how his own complicated life, with its struggles defining lust and love, the echoes of past trauma, both his and Aventika's, how all that gets tangled up with his quest for a stranger's closure.
It's a profound look at how we engage with stories our own and the ones we find.
Definitely.
The weight of untold stories, that fundamental human need for an ending,
Yeah.
it's truly powerful.
Yeah.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, here's something to think about. When do we have a moral right, or maybe even a responsibility, to uncover and finish a story that isn't ours, especially one involving deep love, trauma, tragedy? Or is there a point where some stories are actually best left unfinished?
Their mysteries preserved.
Yeah, allowing them to remain this powerful private testament to the lives they came from. Respecting the boundaries of the people who live them, it challenges us, think about our own impulses when we stumble upon a compelling secret.